In Yummy from HackTheBox, I've got this interesting file disclosure vuln that is actually quite annoying to exploit. Um, and because it's not like hard, it's just manual, a lot of clicks, a lot of typing. So I want a script to do it so that I can enumerate the file system, read what's there, etc. So in this video, I'm going to make that script. And there's a couple interesting bits to showcase here. First, I'm going to use the Python CMD library, which is like my go-to for a quick application where I want something that drops into a special prompt and then takes some input, does some stuff, goes back to the prompt. So I can, in this case, just keep, I'll get a prompt that says yummy and I'll type a file name, it'll show me the file. I'll type a file name, it'll show me the file, etc. The next thing that's kind of cool is I need to use a directory traversal payload. So like a URL that has ... in it. And I'm going to be using the requests library. And by default, requests normalizes these URLs, so gets rid of the ... So I learned a workaround for this box on how to do that. And so I'm going to showcase that here as well. I guess that's it. Let's go ahead and jump in. And I'll start by showcasing the vulnerability itself. If we go to, go to yummy.hdb here. Hopefully this will load. There's a whole website here we can enumerate. Am I logged in for some reason? No, yeah, okay. If I register here, and I will just use some creds that I have saved in my browser because I've done this a lot. And now that, yeah, register, our user already exists. Okay. So we'll go here and log in with those creds. And cool, we're at the dashboard. And so now I need to book a table. There's nothing in my dashboard. But if I book a table, I can do oxdf, my email oxdf at yummy. Yeah, that works. My phone number got to be exactly 10 digits or it complains. I ask that. And yes, 100. Oh, 2100, even better. Reserve a table. Now that shows up, let's see, on my dashboard. Cool. And so if I hit save iCalendar, and I've got myself set up here to go through Foxy Proxy. I have a video showing how I've got this set up, but the short version I've got patterns set up so that any .hdb is passed through burp, but like I can still go to, I can come here and go to Google and there's no issue because it's not going through burp. It's just so it's under, I wonder why that doesn't click. That's weird. Oh, just take a second. It's because of proxy by pattern. So if it matches the patterns, it goes to burp. If it doesn't, it just goes around burp. And that allows me to do my work, but also capture what I'm doing. So if we look in here at that, what I just did, if I go for get reminder /21, which is the ID here of this, it returns a 302 redirect to export yummy reservation, blah, 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 at which it gets there and returns the file. So I can try this. This right here looks very much like a file disclosure vulnerability. I have a file coming back from an export function. But if I send this to repeater and I try to just send the exact same request, it returns a 500 server error. And so I can't even try to do, what I want to be able to do is ... etc. Walk myself up to the root and do etsy password. And again, this is just going to return 500 error. But that's not because that's actually, I got to go into the blog post about why this is failing. Not worry about it here, just to say it's tricky. But if we do this, let's go over here and do proxy intercept on, and I save iCalendar. So here comes that first request for reminder 21. I'm going to forward that on. And the next request comes in here. If I go ahead and edit this, ... I don't remember how many I need, but we'll go for that. Password. And I forward. Now if we come back to the history and we get this one, we will see the response, you can see here, has etsy password in it. So I am able to read other files, but I'm not able to read them if I only am able to read them once. One request per, so for each reminder request, I get one export request. And that is what's annoying. So if I want to enumerate the whole file system, I'm going to do that in a script. So let's do that in a script. I'm going to open up VS Code here. And we'll create yummy shell.py. And I'm going to do from CMD import CMD like that. And this is going to give me the CMD package interface. And the way you work with this is we're going to start with a class. We'll call it term, which is going to subclass off CMD. You can define a prompt. So we'll say prompt is equal to yummy, yummu. Oops, let's put that there with the space. And then I can define some so if I do def do exit, this is going to be the function that runs whenever someone types exit into the prompt. So in this case, we'll take self and args is what these things take. And if someone types an exit, I'm just going to return 1. Returning 1 from anything in this class is finish this command and then exit entirely. Return 0 just says this command's over, go back to the prompt. So that's easy enough. We can then say def default. And now this is going to be what runs whenever I enter something that doesn't match a do function. And so now I can say args here. And for default, for the moment, we're just going to say print args. And then down here, that'll be our initial class. I don't know why this is ugly to me, but clean up here a little bit. We can move this in. In fact, we don't even need this anymore because we only have one file. Okay, so we've got our class. Now we're just going to say term is equal to term. We'll make ourselves an instance of it. And then we can say term.cmd loop. And boom, that should run right there. Let's try it. Python yummy shell. And it drops my yummy prompt. If I say hello world, it prints. So args get passed in here. If I say exit, it exits. So it got to here and exited. There's a few quality of life things I can do. If I do Control C right now, it just crashes out. And so, I mean, not important, but I like to do try and then accept keyboard interrupt. And if that happens, I just want to print and exit. So now if I run that and if I Control C, it just exits. Similarly, Control D is how I end, and that just sends an EOF, which is an interesting string. So what I can do here, I guess we could say, I actually don't know if this works. Let's try this. I was about to show something different, but we could say, what if we say do EOF self args return 1? Does that work? Try it. Control D. It does. I don't want to just return 1 though. I actually want to print and then return 1 so that it. Now if I Control D, it just exits down to a new line. So cool. Okay, so now we've got a basic terminal prompt thing set up and running. What do we actually need to do? So first thing I want to do is I want to do, whenever I start this, there's some things I need. I need to be logged in. So I need cookies and sessions. I need to have a booking reservation available. So I'm going to set all that up in an init. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to say def init, dunder init. This is what runs whenever the class is initiated. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and run the init that I already had. So because I subclass this CMD, there's an init function that already exists. And if I'm overwriting it, I want to make sure I still run the stuff that makes me a terminal class, or this won't work. So I got to say super.dunder init like that and run it. Now I can say self.sesh equals, I better get myself some requests here. So we'll say import requests. And now I can say request.session. I think that's it. So now I've got something I can use to make requests, and anywhere within this class I can call self.sesh and it will give me the request session that I'm using. That'll be nice. I think that's all I need for now. I guess the next step is I'm going to say def login, and that's going to take self. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and making sure I'm authenticated. So, and we'll call that from here. So we'll say self.login, and here we can say login data equals, and we better go get that. Let's see what we got here. Here's a post. It's a book. Here we go, post/login. And it's nice and easy here. In fact, I can just grab this. Come here. Boom. Self.login data. What does the register look like? Let's see, post register. Exactly the same. Perfect. This is nice. Email and password. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, when we log in, we're going to say response is equal to self.sesh.post. And then this is going to be http yummy.http / and the first thing we're going to do is just register. REGISTER, like that. Oops, no, not inside the quote. JSON equals login data. Now this is going to either return success or it's going to return false, probably because the name already exists. I don't care. I'm just going to continue. So the response is equal to self.sesh.post http yummy.http / login. I think that's what it was. Find the post. Yep, /login. And there we'll do JSON equals login data. So if this fails because the name already exists, great, I'll go ahead and log in. If it succeeds, I'll go ahead and log in. Now I can do resp.raise for status. So if there's some sort of weird error comes back here, I'm going to just raise out and fail. But otherwise, I can now at the end of my init, I will have a session that is logged into the site with a user. The next thing I need is a booking ID. So I need to have a valid booking ID. Where's we going down here for like get reminder 21? That 21, I need to have that. And so I need to find where I created that. So that would be the post to book right here. And here is, this is not JSON, unfortunately, but that's fine. I guess we'll make a new function. We will say self.booking ID is equal to self.get booking ID. I don't think we need anything here. So now we can go down here and say def get booking ID self. And so what are we gonna do? We're gonna say book data equals, paste this in. And now we're gonna have to do a little bit of manual stuff here. So that runs that. There. Probably make this pretty. Okay, so that looks good. Email. It's me cleaning things up. But that's okay. It'll just take a second, comma. Ooh, there we go. And these are all just strings because that's what post data typically looks like. And the date is, date equals that. One more after this. Time. It doesn't really matter. These values don't matter. I just need something. So I guess we have one more. Oh, we have a couple more. 2100. That's a lot. Let's make it 100. Comma, and I guess we have message, and there's nothing. Ooh, okay, so we have book data. Now with that, we can say response equals self.sesh.post HTTP yummy.htb /book, I believe it was. Yep, /book. Now it's submitting this as I wonder if I need a content type. We'll try it. Well, let's see. And we need data equals book data. Response.raise for status. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that. I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint right here, like that. What this allows me to do is run this. We hit the break. So let's see what response looks like. Response at 200.text. All that stuff there. Question is my booking ID in this? Oh, it's not even, doesn't even matter. That's not even the question because that doesn't create the booking ID. Remember, I had to click on the dashboard. So let's go back to the dashboard and see if we booked another table. Oh, I'm in intercept. Like it's taking an awful long time. Let's see, proxy, intercept, reservation download, successful reservation download. Not only did I not create I didn't create one, but now my other one's cleaned up. So this is what happens fairly frequently. I think I need, where is it? History book, grab you. And whenever you're posting data, this is kind of something to worry about. So we'll say headers equals, and then we can say content type. And we just add headers equals headers. Let's try that. And let's refresh this. Still nothing. Let's see. I wonder if I need to not URL encode this stuff. So we'll say yummy, like that. We don't need this breakpoint anymore. Just run this. We're seeing if we created something. We did create something. Okay, sweet. So now what we want to do is we need to know this. And so I'm hovering over here at the bottom. I can see it's /reminder/23. I need to find that. So let's inspect. And I guess we can just do literally look for that. So we need any of those, right? So let's come here and we'll do import RE. So now we can say, okay, so now first we need to do resp equals self.sesh.get http yummy.htb / dashboard. That's where we're going to find our thing. Then we can say return re.findAll. And then we want this. It's going to look for, we want an actual backslash. We're going to escape it. Reminder, and then an actual backslash, and then some number of digits like that. And I put it in parentheses here so that it's a capture group. And then we can do response.text. And we just want the first one. So in theory, that should do it. Let's come down here and under default, we'll do print args and we'll do print self.booking ID. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's try this. Okay, so we'll get out of here, run this. Hello? It prints hello and it prints 23. So it found 23. I wonder if it created another one in here. It did. Doesn't matter. I just want to find the first one. It doesn't matter which of these I find. I just need to find any of them. So now I've got a booking ID. And it's saved in my session, so it's available under self.booking ID. And so now when I get down here to actually running defaults, which is going to be, I pass in a file path, I want to find it. Now I've got a booking ID available to me, and that's what I need. So what does the rest of this look like? Well, we're going to say response is equal to self.sesh.get, and let's find it in burp. What is my, okay, it is /reminder / booking ID. So we have, what I really should do here is come up here and say base URL is equal to http yummy.htb. And then I come down here and say f base URL / register f base URL / login. I'm not sure what this really buys me, but it's making me, I'm getting kind of squeamish typing all this over and over again. So let's see, we need f thing base URL, boom, book, and f thing, oh, not files, f thing base URL / okay. So now I get the dashboard. I find a thing. So where are we? We're down here. We're going to do f base URL, and we're going to do / what am I getting? Reminder / and then this is going to be self.booking ID. So that should get me the first request, which is going to return a redirect. So let's actually do this. We'll say allow redirects equals false. Now we should expect this to be returning a 302 redirect, right? So we'll say assert response status code equals 302. We wanted to get an error if that didn't happen. Now, this is the interesting part. Now what we want to do is we want to prepare. So I guess I'll show first what this looks like. So if we say resp equals self/.get of, let's say, base URL / what I want here, where's my export / file name. So we'll say export / and then we want to do, let's do /etc password. And later I'm going to update this to use args, but just for the example right now, we do, let's just do a breakpoint right here so we can see what happens. So we exit here, we run this, we say test, and we hit our breakpoint. So let's look at response. It's equal to 404. If we look at response.request.url, so that's the URL that got requested, you can see it normalized out. So it took export and ... and removed those. And then it just, basically the rest of the ... are irrelevant. So it gets this up and it just makes it SE password. It normalized that. And I don't want that to happen. So what you have to do is actually just called prepare. It's like in request terminology is preparing a request. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say request is equal to requests.request, like this. Method equals get URL is equal to, and this doesn't matter. I think I can even leave it blank. and I will say, I guess that's all I need. And so now I can say prep rec is equal to request.prepare. And now this is where the URL gets normalized. In fact, let's do this. We'll grab this, put it here under URL. In fact, we'll do this. We'll say URL is equal to that. And then we can say URL is equal to URL. And then what we can do is we can say prep rec dot URL is equal to URL. And we can say response equals self dot ses dot send prep rec verify equals false, allow redirects equals false. Let's see what we get. I'm going to come up right here and put a breakpoint so we can show it what happens here. I'm going to Control D to get out of that. I'm going to run this again. I'm going to just write test. Okay, so I'm at the point where I'm right at the point where I'm going to prepare. So I've just made my request. I haven't prepared it. So if I do rec dot URL, I can see it's looking good. If I do a next to step, and now I say prep rec, okay, it's there. If I do .url, it's normalized it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and unnormalize it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I guess that's my next step. So next, now if I do that again, I've re-put that back in place. I said I've skipped, so I've gotten past the normalization step. Now let's see if I take a next step. Where am I? Self send it. Let's see what happens when I send it. Let's see. So we'll see what our response looks like. Our response is a 302. Dot headers. I believe it's location. Plugin. So it doesn't get our cookies. So that's something you have to keep track of when you do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to say URL to that. We're going to say headers is equal to, and we'll set our cookie. And this I'm going to do, so I'm going to take all my cookies like in my session and I want to join them. So I'm going to say .join this. I'm going to say I need another list. And so this is going to be KV, come back to that in a second, for K, comma V in self dot sesh dot cookies dot get dict dot items. Okay, so that's going to return each of the cookies is a key value, and then this is actually going to be, we want to just say K equals V like that. So for each cookie, we're going to take it and we're going to set it equal to KV, and then we're going to join it with a comma space so that we get all of them in the cookies header. And that's what a cookie header looks like. I can show that for those of you who don't just think about this stuff. So here's the cookie. And then we have a comma. Oh, it's not a comma, it's a colon. Let's fix that. Okay. Oh, that's not quite right either. There we go. So then there's a colon and then a space and then the next cookie equals, etc. So that should give us our cookies. And so we can come down here and say headers equals headers. And that looks good. See, we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of you. And we'll run to, I got to put something here. Although I can't, I think I might be, I don't remember what Python I'm running. Python, I'm in 3.12. I think I don't need this anymore. Let's do it. Time for a test. Let's run this. Python, yummy.shell, list. I'm at the breakpoint. Sweet, I don't need this. So I can say resp, and it's a response 200, text, and it's, look at that. That is Etsy password. So we did it. Okay, so now we just need to update this to handle anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to say here, we're going to say, I will just, well, I'll put a slash here. It doesn't hurt to have an extra. And then I can say default, this is args, like that. So in theory now, let's go to this breakpoint and return response.text. And we run this and we say Etsy password, and it didn't do anything. Maybe I don't need to return it. I need to print response.text. Etsy password. There we go. We got it. There's a few other cases we'll want to check out. So like what happens if I try to do Etsy shadow? I got a 500 error. So let's do some checking here. We can say if response.status code is equal to 200, that we read the file correctly. We can print, we can just do this. Elif response.status code is equal to, was that 500? 500? We will print f access denied, and then this will be args. And then the next question would be, what if we do, instead of Etsy shadow, what if I try to read Etsy sha, something doesn't exist. It says file not found. It's not terrible. I could actually just leave that there. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll leave that. Is it actually, oh wait, no, that's not right. So I'm gonna get out of here real quick because I've updated this since then. So if I do Etsy oxdf, it returns nothing. So let's take a look at that. We'll do a breakpoint here. I realize I could also just be running this in the debugger up here, but I'm fine for the terminal for now. So if we do oxdf, so let's see, what does response say? It's a 404. Okay, so we can add that. Elif response.status code is equal to 404. Print file not found. Just like that. And that just looks a little bit better. So let's get rid of view. And I think we're getting pretty close to being done here. So if we now do Etsy oxdf, file not found. If we do Etsy password, we get the file. If we do Etsy shadow, we get access denied. So we have a shell. We have like a little interactive shell where I can now just enumerate the box and find what I need to find to move forward. All right, so I know this has been kind of a long video, but I've been working through the box a little further, polishing my write-up, and I realized I really needed another feature, and I thought it was kind of a neat one. I would show how to add it. So real quickly, before I conclude, I'm just gonna add something in here. What I want is the ability to download files. So I want to grab like a zip file off the box. And right now, because I do response.txt, I basically convert it to ASCII, and if it's a zip, it's gonna print a bunch of garbage to my screen. Not useful, right? So what I want is a save command. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here, and first I'm gonna change my do default. I'm gonna take this away from now. I'm gonna say def, what should we call this? Like get file, self file name. And now we'll need to come through here and change this. Let's see. In fact, this will be self.get file name. And this will be file name. Anything else? Yeah, down here, file name, file name. And so what I'm going to do here is have this function return. And so if the status code is 200, we're going to return rest.contents. Now contents, unlike text, is bytes. So it's going to be a byte string. So that is going to be a raw set of the bytes that come back. So now, and then if it fails, I'm going to just have it print problems and return none. This is not even really necessary because by default, Python functions return none if you don't say anything, but we'll just explicitly say, so we return the content, or if there's a failure, we return none. Okay, so now what do we need? I guess we can also, just to be really careful here, we'll say else print unexpected response code response. We're getting off track here, but for fn response there. Okay, so now we've got that. So now no matter what happens, we'll get that. Okay, so now I've got this get file. I need my do default. So we'll say def default self args, and now we're going to say file. We'll say if contents, and we'll use the Walrus operator, which I really love here, equals get self.get file on args. So if contents come back, we're going to print contents.decode. So we'll turn it back into ASCII and print it. So presumably I'm only going to call this places where it makes sense that I want to print to the screen. And so I can actually test this right now. We can just come down here and see, did this work? Let's see, Python yummy shell, and we can do Etsy host, and it worked just fine. So we now have the exact same capability we already had. But what's cool here is now we can say def do save self args, and I'm going to, let's put a doc, let's say this will be save file path and out file. I should make these this. Ooh. Now I know what I want to try to do. So I can say file name out file equals args.split like that. So we split on space because args is just going to be a string of everything I pass in after the word save. So that'll work. Now I can say same pattern as above. Oops, if contents walrus equals self.get file on file name, then I'm going to with open out file write binary as f.write contents. And if contents comes back none, it will have already printed out the error. So now I can come here and I can, let's see, I will control D to get out of there. I'll rerun my shell. And now if I say etc hostname, it should work. If I do save etc hostname to hostname, I guess it doesn't matter. But and then if I exit out of here and pat hostname, it's there. So it's saved to the file. More importantly, I can do something like save var www, I believe it's backup app.zip to backup app.zip. And this takes a second because the file's kind of, doesn't take that long. Okay, so if we do file, and what I did there, backup app.zip, I've got a zip file. If I unzip -L that, I've got the contents of the directory I was looking for, or the file I was looking for. So, awesome. Back to the conclusion. I think that's it. Things I want to highlight. Being able to use this prep request thing, it's a little bit tricky and it's a little bit annoying because you like have to add the headers back in, for example. But being able to bypass the normalization of the URL in request is super useful and worth being able to do. And then just this CMD package, I love it. It's just whenever I need a quick way, to enumerate a box, I can now sit here and just go, okay, so let's see, what else could there be? Could there be, is there an Nginx file? Is there a, I can just bang, 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 just up arrow. I can use up arrows to get the things in here. It's just so much nicer than having to rerun a script every time and give it passive arguments and stuff. So I'm a huge fan of this CMD package for stuff like this. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here and hanging out all the way till the end. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.